name's Melinda, and I'm with Casey Trees. We're a DC-based nonprofit with a mission to restore, enhance, and protect the tree canopy of Washington, D.C. I join you today from Kingman Heritage Islands, located in the Anacostia River. These islands have an interesting history. They did not exist prior to the 1900s. And to understand why they were formed, let's take a little look at the ecological timeline of the river and how humans have played a role. Prior to European settlers, the river was a source of life, especially for the Anacostia tribe. Once the settlers moved in, they started clearing the local forest and turning it into farmland using enslaved Africans. This changed the river. There was more runoff, erosion, and pollution, causing the composition of the river to change, being more silty and more sediment heavy. In the mid-1800s, mud flats were formed because of all this sediment built up. In the early 1900s, in an effort to correct this ecological wrong, humans decided to dredge or remove soil from the river to open up the channel. And by doing that, we created the islands. We know much more now about protecting and respecting our natural resources and the benefits that they provide. We are also working to restore the river, and the islands play a role. Life has come back to the river and islands. And we asked some local island neighbors and friends what they get from this space. We hope these messages will inspire you to visit, but most importantly, to appreciate the natural world around you.
Hi, I'm Laura Nunn. I'm on the board of the Friends of Kingman Heritage Islands. I was born in DC, but grew up in the suburbs. Despite spending a lot of time as a kid nearby, I was unaware of Kingman Heritage Islands. We spent a lot of time at the Children's Museum at the end of H Street, but didn't often make it to this particular section of the neighborhood. I did not really discover Kingman Heritage Islands until I heard about the first Bluegrass Festival, and that was my first introduction to the islands. And as a huge music fan, I started coming out a lot for that event, but didn't really know about anything else going on the island. Like, to me, the island was just the Bluegrass Festival those first couple of years. Then a few years after the first festival, I bought a house in the neighborhood and had my first child, and we started coming here on a regular basis as an escape from city life.
Coming out to Kingman Island makes me feel great. I live in a small apartment underground, so sunlight is a precious commodity. Every time I come to Kingman, you can come at all different points of the year and you have a different experience based on what's in season, what animals are out, what types of people are around. So for me, it makes me feel like I have a little bit more freedom, that I have a little bit more space to breathe fresh air and to be able to just look out and see the water and all the beautiful trees. And I've done a lot of work on the island as well, so to be able to see the results of that and have people enjoy the results of that work is a really great thing for me.
Well, I come out here maybe 2 times, maybe 3 times a week. It's a nice environment. You get to catch different fish, all types of fish. It's a nice view. It's real friendly. It makes me feel relaxed, comfortable. In my own shell, in my own environment. So it's real nice. I've been coming out here for maybe a year because I just moved from Baltimore here, but I'm from here. But this is the first I've saw of this park, so I've been coming for a year. And I saw water, and then I said maybe it's fish over, and I came around, and I come to find out that it was bigger than what I thought it was. This is my favorite spot, actually. This particular spot right here that I'm on is my favorite spot. You can see different fish. You see different people, all walks of life. It's just nice and just comfortable.
I have a few favorite spots on Kingman Island. Maybe some I won't tell you about so that they can stay more untouched. But one of my favorite spots is there is a picnic bench kind of tucked behind other picnic benches, and you're right on the water. And it's such a peaceful place because you can see the water. You're also surrounded by all of the nice trees. But then there's picnic chairs and picnic tables not too far away. So
unless I have, public transportation or somebody wants to give me a lift, this is the only place like this that I can walk to from my house. I enjoy walking my dogs here. I enjoy coming here with the kids. I enjoy seeing the changing seasons. I enjoy seeing the animals and plants. And I'm hoping that it can stay somewhat wild.
I feel like Kingman is unique in that it really feels natural, and it's a great place that isn't that far from, there's bridges and roads and there's a metro right nearby, but it still feels like you've escaped into nature when you're on the island. And there's so many environments on the island, like the vernal pools and the meadows, where you can really experience a wide range of nature from this one small park. So it's a great opportunity, especially when you have little kids who it's a little trickier for them to, take them far spaces. So having a space that's kind of compact where they can, go catch tadpoles in the vernal pool, and then they can go climb on rocks and play with sticks, and they can go in the meadows and see dragonflies and butterflies and birds. It's really a really unique space in the city. So my kids have learned a lot hanging out here.
My favorite part about Kingman Island is the animals, because I love nature and animals.
There are lots of cool sights here. Like, there are rafts that you can go on. They're like floating over the water. You can, it's big, so you can explore it sort of.
I like the end of the island because you can see the view and all the waters.
It makes you feel happy, sort of alive. It just makes you feel good to be out of the city, sort of. It feels like you can still see it on the island. You can still see the city on the island, but it's like you've just walked into a different realm.
I've been bringing groups of kids from the school out here for about 3 years because it's the closest thing to a natural environment that we can get to without transportation. I remember being a kid and being able to just mess around in the woods. And kids really don't have that opportunity as much in this neighborhood. So that's why I started bringing them here. And it's not a didactic experience. Mostly we just let the kids explore. If I see something of interest, I'll direct their attention. We found really cool stuff, like one of the kids who's with me today found a part of a beaver skull. And that was really interesting to see the big tooth.
I worked with the Watershed Stewards program through Anacostia Watershed Society and partnered with Kingman Island, and we helped, or my group for my capstone project, helped build a small picnic area over near the water. And so we cleared out a bunch of invasive species, like invasive honeysuckle. Now it's a great picnic area that has 4 or 5 picnic tables. So there's something before that was just a wall of invasive species. You couldn't see the river at all. You couldn't see anything. You didn't really feel connected to it. Now people can come sit with their families. I just walked over and there's a family with a few kids sitting by and enjoying the river. So I really encourage you, if you haven't already been out here, to come out here. There's a lot of different ways to volunteer and get involved. Or you can just come and walk around and see who's around and what you're interested in working with.
So we really enjoyed it. The island is an escape, and I tried to lure some other moms to come out. And we started talking to other neighbors and got together and founded the Friends of Kingman Heritage Islands in the hopes that it would remain a conservation area. And eventually, this was right in line with what was going on with the mayor's efforts and the Department of Energy and Environment, and it all came together, and now we're here looking at a hopefully great future for Kingman and Heritage.